Good morning, sports fans. This is George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service, and our next installment is the hair wing caddis. It's tied on a Mustad 94-833 long shank dry fly hook. So I'm using Danville Flymaster brown in a 140 denier. I'm going to get tied in. This is a kind of a generic caddis pattern. The hair wing caddis is. You can tie it with all manner of different body colors and wing colors. There's an olive caddis and there's a black caddis, but they're all essentially tied the same way. You just change the colors and of the materials. So, excuse me. This one we're going to use trim the fluff off. This one we're going to use a furnace saddle feather, and that goes in at the back by the tip. There is actually wire on this one. You want to use a smallish copper wire. I'm going to use UTC copper wire in the BR width. This wire is to support the feather, reinforce the feather, because trout have teeth and they like to bite the crap out of this thing. So you need something that's gonna reinforce your body, otherwise it's not going to last. And you're gonna eventually, after we get the dubbed body in, we're gonna palmer this hackle forward, and then we're gonna counter wrap the wires, very similar to what you do on a woolly booger. So for the body, I'm using cream beaver dubbing. And I'm just going to dub that on. I want a kind of a smoothly tapered body. Right up to there. Excuse me. Now, there's a reason I'm leaving a lot of room for a head, because the hair is big and you're going to need the room. Okay, so next is to palmer the hackle forward. Some folks pull that top layer off. I don't. Well, not always. See how it's coming out? It's not concentric touching wraps. Again, it's very much like you do on a woolly booger. Now this is the part that gets tricky, because it's a small bug. And you don't want to capture any of the fibers if you can help it. So get your bodkin and get them out of the way. So that you don't trap them down. I use an old pair of scissors so I can take the wire out where I want it taken out at. You want a nice little thread body or thread build up right there at the head, because excuse me, next comes the fun part. You're going to need a hair stacker and deer body hair. Excuse me. You're going to need a good pair of scissors. I like these spring-loaded scissors for cutting deer body hair. You're also going to need a comb of some sort. This is a lice comb. I got it at the drugstore. I think it cost me $5. Pull yourself off a clump of deer hair. Trim it off the hide. Hold the tips. Comb out the underfur. Now that you've done that, you can kind of pull the long ones out, because they're going to cause a problem when you put it in the stacker. Alright. And make different size hair stackers. This is a small one. They make them big. They make them medium size. Doesn't really matter what size stacker you use. When I'm tying small bugs, I like a small stacker. You put the hair in the stacker like that, points down. And you tap it on your desk. and you kind of crack it open like an egg. You hold it like this, and you pull the top part off. And there you see you got your tips all evened up. Pull out any of the square ones. Sometimes like that one, that's a square one. Okay, then you want to compare the lined up tips to the back of the shank because you want them to be even. So that's a little too long. That's about right. Now, transfer it over to your non-thread hand. You want to take a wrap of thread around the hank of hair first. Then you kind of take another wrap, and you take a third wrap. Now you're wrapping to the top of the shank right behind the eye. Now that you've done that, you gather these that are here in the front and you give them a clip. Then you want to make sure that your head is right. Pull these up and get your thread in between the head and the eye, and that's where you want to put your whip finish too. That's so that that way you're pinching the hair to the hook. Is if you just lash the hair to the top of the hook, the hair will eventually spin around the top of the hook, and then your bug won't work anymore. Okay, so once you have your hair attached, to apply head cement, not UV resin. You don't put UV resin on dry flies. So there's a reason for that. UV resin is dense. Dry flies are buoyant. When you add weight to a dry fly, especially on the head, it will sink, which is bad. Okay, so take a look at this head. That is a hair-wing caddis in a number 12. So this is George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. You can find my website at www.custom-tied.com. That's custom-tied.com. Have a splash, don't forget the dash. You can also find my virtual fly shop on Facebook by searching Custom Tyer 02. That's CUSTOMTYER 02. So this again has been a tutorial on the hair-wing caddis. Have a great day. Happy tying.